for September that I was going to get braces, and which means that the $5,000 bill that I had to maintain. I'm 23, so that means I also have an iPhone, like many of you do. And if you have AT&T, you know that the bills aren't as cheap as some other places. So I have that bill to pay. Then you have T-Mobile. You have T-Mobile? Are they good? I actually heard that they would actually pay for me to leave AT&T. Or am I going to chase my dream, which is to develop my own business and to really do everything I can? So I've made a decision that I would not work for anybody else and that I would chase my dream regardless of the cost. And I'm going to be honest with you and say that that comes with a lot of sacrifice. Literally. Every month I'm trying to make sure that I can pay the bills. And it happens. I haven't missed a month yet because faith and tenacity and perseverance, it sticks to me. But with all of that said, I'm now developing a team of individuals who have believed in the dream to say, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to empower other young adults to be all that they can possibly do. And that those dreams that you have, those aspirations that are embedded within you, that I'm going to push them to go forward and manifest those things into existence. And so we have a team, and you see Joshua Hardaway, you see LaMarcus Allen, you see Kente Butte, you see Craig Matthews, who's also the co-founder of Dream Again Empire. That this is a dream that we've had since I was in high school, to develop a business development corporation that would house and manage multiple businesses under it as a parent corporation, but also to go out and do empowerment services to those people that I'm most affiliated or connected to. And for me, that is other students that just graduated. So my heart is still, I'm going for Grambling State, but my heart is still at Grambling. And so I do care what happens at Grambling. I do care about the good things. I do care about the bad things. And so one thing that I wanted to do, I called Mr. Butte and I said, I'm developing Dream Again. And one of the things that we're currently doing is providing student leadership development to campuses across the nation. And actually, Grambling was the first school in Louisiana that actually brought us in. But our first few clients were actually out of the state of Louisiana. People who had connected with us and said, man, you're such an inspiration. We're willing to bring you to our campus so that you can come and train our student leaders as well as empower our student body as a whole as well. And so some amazing things has transpired. And so with that said, we definitely want to make that available to you. But I would be remiss if I left this room without leaving at least one nugget, one token of empowerment that hopefully would impact your lives from the moment that you walk out of this room and even help you 50 years from now when you're sitting in your rocker holding your grandchildren. Some people don't want grandchildren, some people don't. But with that said, let me hand you something. I know you're eating. I'm going to hand you these. And these are links. I went to the baby department of Walmart today, which I don't plan to go to anymore soon. But I went today. And I'm going to hand you these, and please pass them around. If they have some more in that bag, you all get us some to the other side of the group. And these are links. And when I was president of the Student Government Association at Grambling, make sure I have enough. Bring it back. When I was president of the Student Government, one thing that did not transpire enough is we were not, as student government officials and officers, raise your hand if you are the president of the SGA. And if you are the vice president. Great. One of the things that we did not do enough, you all, is that we did not link together enough. We did not work together enough. That to reach the pivotal point of success, it's not about chasing your dream by yourself. But it's about chasing these goals and these aspirations with a team in mind. That even when Dream Again was being birthed, I understood the idea of the notion that I can't do it by myself. I need a team to make it happen. And one of the things that makes many of our student government or student-driven objectives fail is when we have a solo mindset. That I can do this all by myself. That I can succeed and accomplish these goals all by myself. Tap your head and say, it's not happening like that. It won't. It's impossible. It's impossible. At Grambling, we had 5,000 students. Some of you have more than 5,000 students. And so you realize that you have a lot to budget, a lot to manage. And it is impossible to do it all alone. So a collective working environment with your teams is very imperative, very important. And so the links that you have, and I hope everybody raise your hand if you do not have one. Everybody got one. Good. Okay, that link is an analogy. It symbolizes the need for you to stay connected. There were many times where we actually had SGA presidents from other institutions that reached out to me and said, we're having these problems at my institution. And guess what I did? I assisted them in any way that I could to help research and give solutions to the problems that they were having at their institutions as well. Why? Because it mattered to me that if LSU was having problems, that mattered to me. It mattered to me when Nicholls State would have problems. It mattered to me if Northwestern had problems. It mattered to me if Southeastern encountered problems. It mattered to me if the Southern system went through some hardships. It mattered to me if the technical colleges and community colleges went through situations. Why? Because we must stay connected. We must stay connected. And so tonight, I want to encourage you, I want to motivate you to stay linked up. That's what that link is important. And I would encourage you to put that on your key ring so you remind yourself, even through life, even through connections, and even through your networks, that you work extremely hard to empower one another, to support one another. Don't do it by yourself. Because if you do this thing together, and you make this a statewide movement, there are many things that can happen. When I was a sophomore at Grambling, I was just a sophomore class president at that time. There was a big movement behind budget cuts. A big old rally that took place on the steps of the Capitol. And my SGA president actually asked me to take his place in providing the public speech to the students and the general public that was there. And what made that time so powerful is that you had institutions from all over the country, all over the state, that came together for one purpose, one cause, at one time. Which is something we do not do enough. So think about it. For the rest of the time, months that you have left in your respective roles and capacities, think about what is it that we can do as a whole that will empower the over, 200,000 students in the state of Louisiana. What is it can we do together that will make an impact, that will seal the stamp that shows that the student government presidents, vice presidents, student governments as a whole, that the reason why we were elected and put in office was to represent our students and fight for the better good of them. Make that happen. This council is irrelevant if you only come once a month to meet and go back home and nothing happens. This moment right here is irrelevant if you go back to your offices and do what you've been doing and nothing changes. One of my mentors once told me that if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. If you do the same thing over and over, and I'm sure all of you heard this other quote, that, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is what? Insanity. And many of us, as intelligent as we are, we do some very insane things. Because we do the same thing. We hit the wall over and over and over expecting to make a different sound. And it's not. You're intelligent. You have greatness on the inside of you. And I want to challenge you to run after it. Join together, link together, and really make this thing happen. Really make this thing happen. Your students are depending on you. They need you to do this. And so I want to thank you all for being so wonderful tonight and allowing me to express just those little sentiments of thought. And I hope that you would take that link and you will reflect, and that will remind you to call the SGA president or the other SGA that's next door, that's across the state. Stay together. Y'all figure out upcoming calls and make something happen for the students in this state. And Dreaming an Empire, any way that we can help, any way that we can be of service, please call on us. We have information for you. We want to give that to you so that you can call on us. We definitely want to come and we provide student leadership development for SGAs, executive coaching for your executive boards, election leadership training, so training for the students that are actually getting ready to run for positions, to make sure that they really understand their roles and the responsibilities that they're trying to get themselves into, because everyone gets involved and then they get a whammy once they get in and they realize it's more than what they thought it was. We also do transitioning, training, and coaching, so that period when you officially get ready to pass the baton and the new SGA is getting ready to come in, there's always a lapse there and some issues there because we don't always transition properly and make sure that the next people coming in actually gets the proper information so that they can be successful. We provide that as well. SGA weeks and SGA retreats, anything that we can do to be of service, reach out to us and we would love to do business with you. And we gladly welcome any phone call. There's a conference next month, in April. That's the Leadership Development Conference by the NSLDC, and I have some flyers for that as well. Some of you may have already heard about it. Wonderful conference. I want to encourage each and every one of you to actually register your student governments and any other student organizations to go to that conference. It's held in New Orleans. I believe it's on April 12th. My memory's real good. It's on April 12th. I want to encourage you to go. I want to encourage you to be there. We'll be there. We want to see you all there. So anybody that ever needs us, let us know. Thank you all so much. Stay motivated. Stay empowered. Listen, don't run from it. Just learn from it. Thank you so much.